is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some more Metal Gear Solid 3 gameplay for you. And today I'm going to be talking about the state of affairs that is the remakes in terms of how they are in terms of the gaming world as we know today. Now, we just had a few days ago, I believe, Capcom announced something that I don't think should have been too much news to anyone, but if you weren't aware that, yes, they basically said that they were working on more remakes in the future. They want to do more remakes, which shouldn't be news to anyone. But I'm not here to talk about what they could be, what it's going to be, and all that. I've already done that before. We'll just wait and see what they decide they want to remake. But the point of the matter is that I've heard a lot of comments and people talking about how they're basically getting sick and tired of remakes, and that the remakes basically show that these companies are creatively bankrupt and that they don't have any new ideas and that they just constantly do the same thing over and over and over again. And while I won't disagree for the majority of that whole point, I do believe it is important to understand that while I'm not one that's that negative about the remakes, I have enjoyed the remakes, I do also want to clarify that I don't think the remakes are going to go away anytime soon, unfortunately. I believe the remakes are something that's going to be around for a little while. I don't know how long they're going to be around, but they're going to be pretty plentiful for a long time, and for multiple reasons. But once again, I do want to state that getting back to the whole, they just don't have any new ideas, I don't believe that. I believe a lot of these companies, they do have a lot of ideas. They do have a lot of new things they want to do. But there's a big problem with that, and I feel like, once again, you have to take yourself out of the consumer shoes and put yourself in the businessman's shoes. And I get it, no one wants to do it, I understand it, nobody wants to do it, just like dragging poor Rykoff here up this long-ass set of stairs. But the point is, you're just going to face the music here. The remakes, there's a reason why these companies keep doing so many remakes. And there's a reason why they're going to stay around for a while. It's because these remakes have been highly successful. Not just critically, but also financially as well. They've been reviewed very highly, and they've made a lot of money. I mean, you look at them. I'm not just talking about the Resident Evil remakes. I mean, you had a Dead Space remake. You have Final Fantasy doing remakes. They're talking about doing other remakes for other Final Fantasy games outside of 7. And you got other companies talking about remakes. You got the Silent Hill 2 remake. I mean, you got so many remakes, but why would they be doing this? Because they're making money. I mean, think about it like this. At the end of the day, I know people don't want to hear this. They don't want to acknowledge this. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for a business, I've always said this, is not making fans happy, not pleasing them, not putting them on good terms with each other, is making money. That's the most important thing. And if they're not making money, well then, problems arise. And until they stop making money, I just don't see these remakes, not keep coming at an astounding rate. And until that quality really dips down and people stop buying them, and that's the thing, people stop buying them. If you want new ideas, I get it, and I understand it. I do too. I kind of like a combination of the both. But at the end of the day, these things are making massive money. I mean, take it like this, okay? I'll give you an example. Of all the remakes that have come out in recent memory, what's the one that's gotten the most flack, that's gotten the most negative response from people that people generally do not like? That would be Resident Evil 3 remake. That's the one that's gotten flagged for a variety of reasons. It was too short. It should have been DLC. It was rushed. Whatever you could think of, it's the one that's got the most negative response. Now, having said that, don't you think that if it's that big of a negative response that people wouldn't have supported and bought that, right? Well, as of right now, the game has sold over 8 million units. So, my point being is, if that's the worst, yeah, I don't see these remakes going away anytime soon. I know that may be a bitter pill to swallow for some people who want, newer titles. And listen, I'm not going against it. I'd like to see newer titles too. I don't want it to be non-stop remakes. As I said, I like to see a combination of the two. I like to see what they could do with new ideas as well as how they can do old things and do them in different ways. That's all fine to me. As long as the games are fun and entertaining, I personally don't care. But the whole thing about them, and I want to get back to the whole, being out of ideas, I don't think these companies are necessarily out of ideas. I think they just look at these fan base and think, okay, what are they going to buy? We've been doing these remakes, and they've been making so much money, so why would we not take advantage of that? So I can't blame them for that, and if people keep buying it, You know why? It's like what I've said with I give an example. What I've said with like Call of Duty for many years. You know, people I always like the people who every year say that Call of Duty is trash, is the worst thing ever, but yet they're the same people that buy it every year. So it's like, what are you really saying? You know, you keep buying it, you keep playing it, you keep talking about it. You may say it's trash, but you keep basically supporting it. So what do you want them to think? Oh, they're going to change it up? No, they're probably just going to do the same thing over and over and over again until they stop making money. And that's the key part, making money. I think there's a lot of new ideas these companies would like to do, but once again, put yourself in the businessman's shoes. You know, you're playing around with that, how much money these companies have, all that money. If you don't produce and you make a game that's a failure, well, you're in deep shit, basically. You're in deep shit with that company, and basically probably more than likely out of a job. That's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about this year is job security is not very good in the gaming industry. There are so many people being laid off for a variety of reasons, and even when they're doing good jobs. So it's just like, what are you supposed to do? Do you try to be more ambitious but really risk losing a lot of money? But there's a possibility you can hit gold, and I get it. Go big or go home. But I can't fault them for also being like, hey, here's guaranteed money. It's a remake of a fan favorite game that people like. If our worst remake that in terms of reception is Resident Evil 3 remake, and it still did as well as it did, why are we going to stop doing this? People are still going to keep buying it. So until they stop, buying it, stop supporting it, I don't see them having any problem with keep doing it constantly. I mean, why would they stop trying to make money? And if Resident Evil 3 was the low part of all of that, imagine the other remakes. I mean, Resident Evil 2 remake, I think at the end of the day is going to be the most sold Resident Evil thing of all time, with all the ports and everything at the end of the day when it's all said and done. I mean, it may possibly surpass later on, but I mean, that's been highly successful. And Resident Evil 4 remake is off to a really good start as well. So my point is that until these sales really decline, and I think the only way the sales really decline is if the quality of these games and the games just aren't really that good, really starts to dip. I think the biggest example to explain that would probably be what's going on right now with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, for many years, I've always heard a lot of people say, I don't think these movies are that good. I don't know why so many people go out to see it, but that was the point. So many people went out to see it, and only when the quality really, really dipped down did people finally just start to say, hey, you know what, we're just not going to see it. So instead of just making guaranteed money, it seemed like every time they release a new film, now they're really struggling just to, go positive in any of their films, and they're at a point now where they have to change, or they're in deep crap right now because they're not releasing anything that's really good at this moment. They're not making money off it. So that's the only way I honestly see these remakes changing in terms of how they're coming out and how fast and rapidly they're coming out, is if the quality starts to dip and people just stop buying them, because they're just going to buy them regardless at this point. But that is my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. Are you tired of the remakes? You want to see newer games, newer ideas? Do you like a combination of both? Let me know down in the comment section down below. But that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully I can see you guys back in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see and hear from you all later. Peace.